everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is RicketyGames. I'm Sydney and welcome to the final part of Little Nightmares 1. This is the final chapter in the game called The Lady. We face off the lady herself, our geisha looking proprietress of the Maw here, the ship. I do remember this chapter a little bit better, and I remember the ending roughly because it was just such a interesting way for it to end. And I remember when I first played it, I did not expect what happens to happen, so I have a lot of thoughts at the end of this. I'm sure more things will kind of come flooding back as I get in deep about the lady, because she's kind of the crux of what's happening on the Maw, and she and the power that she has, I think, is really what's driving a lot of the world that we're seeing, at least on board the Maw and with Six herself. Also, just to clear up something really quickly, I was joking around last time. I called her Ma or Mom, mommy, in the last episode. That was an old debunked theory, but I wasn't even thinking about that at the time. When I was editing it, I realized that I said that and people might confuse and be thinking that she's Six's mom. That was definitely thought about, but I believe it was debunked. I don't think that. I wasn't thinking about that at the time. I just was cracking jokes. So there's that. Anyways, we are here. We're on our carpet. We got the lovely singing voice of our madam here. Yep. And a ticking clock, which makes everything all the creepier. So let's get on with it, shall we? I think it's important here to note the broken mirror. If you know, you know. We're moving on. We're going. We're playing. The eyeballs. Ugh. Everything is that shape, though. That, I always associate it with a fish mouth shape. But I guess it really is an eyeball shape as well. Because it's the opening to the Maw. It's the stove. It's literally everywhere reoccurring. It's the eye is ever watching, and it is her eye. So, you know, there's that. Oh, we need a key. A little golden key. It's up where she is. Also, these pictures kind of hold a little bit of things. The one that's with the lady herself right there, and there's 4 other ladies in the background, is kind of implying that maybe she's a successor to a line of proprietesses that own the ship. And then you have a lot of the eye references, the pigs and stuff. This little girl, this deformed girl with the mask, everyone kind of was thinking maybe it's Six, maybe it's not Six. We'll learn a little bit more about the gnomes and stuff. But I do think it's interesting to have confirmation from one of you guys that a lot of the world of the first Little Nightmares was inspired by Spirited Away. I think it really helps reinforce some of the themes that I was talking about last time. I think she's in here, isn't she? Oh, she's in here. I'll be really excited to talk more about that soon. She's right there. Right into it. Is that's better angle. So it's also worth noting that right in front of her, we'll get a little closer. She's got the broken mirror again. So she will instantly kill us making noise. The question is, how do we make no noise? She's got a little doll there in front of her that looks like her. Should we make some noise? If we do run up to her, we can see her power. I hope it's the way to go, though. Oh, we're so close. Should we see her power first? Woo! Smoked. Easy does it. I think we need to get into her bedroom, I believe, and then she leaves? Very majestic. Carpet is nice. Oh. 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 It's kind of interesting because you can see the bottom stairs right there in the corner. It's like that dollhouse perspective that you get throughout the game, but a lot of times you just see like the corners of it. It's kind of cool to see the bottom room down there. Oh, my heart is beating. There's the little girl. And she's got like a yellow, you know, coat, or dress rather, just like us. Which is why people thought like this might have been 6, but I don't think that's the case. I'm a menace. I don't remember if she comes in here or not. I don't think she does. Maybe she does when I grab the key? Her singing was creepy to start with. It's creepier now that it's gone. But like the reason things are because of her power, essentially. Or like what she's doing. Which I don't think is too hard to figure out or to kind of draw a correlation. If it's just kind of putting together the pictures and kind of what we think the history is. I mean, she's kind of a Countess Bathory figure in a way. Taking the essence, the life essence from these children. It's kind of the leading theory, I believe. Oh, where'd she go? She'd be like, you broke my little... Of course, everything looks like her. The damn kimono wearing mannequins. She knows I'm here. But the idea that she's, you know, using the children, using the people here for their energies, I think something that will come into play without trying to be too thing in the background. Oh, she's close. It's cold as fuck. Oh, that one doesn't have a head, but it looks like her because of the darker robe. Oh shit, oh shit, go! Woo! Bye! Oh, toast. I should have run sooner. I was just to be honored by your presence, ma'am. Okay, we're running from the get-go. Goodbye! Ma'am, it's nice to see your presence. You have a beautiful singing voice. Woo! Ooh. Toast. Everything's broken. Anything with reflections. Oh god, there's like a wig. Oh, they have wigs. Catch your breath, 6, because we're gonna need it. The eyes. I think this is... Don't the eyes turn on in here? Something like that? Let me explore real quick. I'm gonna regret it. I feel like there's a doll in this room. Alright, I don't see it. We're good though. We're gonna continue on this way. Rip it off. Oh. I'm so cute still, even in my terror. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Here it is. The only thing we need. The only intact mirror. She's got this, the mirror, so we're gonna see what it does. But it gives me a very Dorian Gray reference, in my opinion. Going back out. Ma'am. I got a mirror and I'm not afraid to use it on ya. Behold your own beauty. If it is beauty. And not just straight up evil. Oh, from behind me, that was pretty rude. I don't remember if it's a matter of catching the light. I think you just have to point it in her general direction. Like that! Take a glimpse of your own madness, woman. Grab the mirror, please. Oh, fuck. Grab the mirror, please. Light, 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 light. I think it is the light. Yes. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, ma'am. And clearly, you don't have the... the beauty. I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, ma'am. I'm ready, ma'am. I'm ready, ma'am. Get out of here. The light is fading. Find the next one. Over here, over here, over here. Got it, we got it, we got it. I'm ready. Yeah, bitch. Oh. Oh. She's coming at me faster. Oh! Shattered. You broke another one, ma'am. Her mask is broken, I believe, as well. And if you noticed in the background, there was the shadow us that always appears when we're hungry. Like the darker version of 6. I don't remember if we can pick up her mask or not. Nope. It's like the hallway scene, right? Yeah. We've got the black, like, flakes around us. We walk. Uh-oh. Look at that. Taking it. Give me your life, your greed, your sins. killed them all. All of them. They shall be my food. I am the new proprietor of this ship. The sunlight. We've reached the top. Going up. Ladies' quarters. The storm is coming, and the coat should come in useful. Yeah, I am the storm. The eye of the storm. It is interesting to watch Six progress up the boat, right? We started below the ocean in the bow of the ship, and now we arrive at the top. Little gnome guy. Oh. Hello. Wow, that was so much quicker than I remember it being. Like, I genuinely thought this chapter was a little bit longer. But damn, I should have just played the last two together. But I like doing it by chapters because it gives us, you know, time to digest and to think about it. But what I was gonna say at the end there is, like, seeing Six progress through the levels of the ship, levels of the game, obviously. One of the interesting things that I remarked on when I saw the outside of the ship and you see the guests like coming in, something that I was thinking about was why wouldn't Six leave the boat there, right? Why not find a way to get to the other boat that they're boarding from, you know, hide on that ship and then get off and away from the maw entirely? And that's definitely a possibility. It's kind of I guess a question of motive, because it doesn't seem that she wants to. Now, you could say that maybe she can't unless she destroys the lady, because the lady will never let her go. But we don't interact much with the lady until now. I mean, she's obviously prevalent in most of the chapters except for 2 of them, I think. But she is, you know, very powerful. So, I mean, I don't doubt that she couldn't find Six or maybe not allow her to leave with some sort of magical spell or something, right? Maybe there's something that Six needs from her in order to exit the ship. But either way, once we defeat her, Six doesn't leave. She gets to the top of the ship, she gets to the deck, almost as if she becomes the new lady, the new proprietress of the ship. And I think that was the feeling that I left with when I first played it, was that, like, Six becomes the new lady. And in more ways than one, not just usurping her position, but in taking her power, right? Because immediately after we devour the lady, we get her magic, this ability to, what appears to suck the life out of other living things. And I think that's part of the lore that is not necessarily confirmed, but I think that we kind of generally accept to be what we think is going on, is that the lady has this sort of Countess Bathory-like figure. So she, if you don't know who Countess Bathory was, she was a countess in Romania. A lot of people associate vampire myths with her. She's a countess that wanted to stay young forever. She was the most notorious, infamous for her method of attempting to stay young forever, which was killing thousands of virgin women and bathing in their blood. And that's where you get, I think most people know her from probably Resident Evil 8 now, but a lot of old vampire vixen and, you know, female vampire tales draw from tales like hers. And I think you have a little bit of that with the lady in here. Not saying that she's a vampire, but she is taking the life essence from other creatures, essentially, in order to keep herself alive. to probably keep her reign going longer. We don't know how long she's been the lady for, the one in charge, but it seems like a while. She's obviously very established. She's got a whole system on this boat. She has these guests come in and engorge themselves on like food and gluttony and kind of going after, you know, that's the I guess these like, I don't know, going overboard with you know, making themselves indulging and stuff like that. And she can take their souls, and then they're eating children that are captured aboard the ship, and she refuses to look in mirrors because the mirrors seem to hurt her image. They seem to show her who she truly is, and that comes with a similar story that's about staying young forever, which is the portrait of Dorian Gray. And that you know, he has a portrait that takes on his age, his disease, any ailments that come to him, any injuries that come to him. The portrait takes it for Dorian Gray, and upon looking at the portrait, all that has been inflicted to his body over the years, he's ostensibly immortal, go back onto him, so he cannot look upon his own portrait. He gets to stay young and beautiful and do whatever he wants forever, with as long as he doesn't see the portrait. And I think it's something similar is happening with the mirror and the lady. And there's this insatiable hunger she has to keep that power, to keep that control, and part of that seems to be using the children to feed those guests, and then she feeds on the guests, is I think what I was guessing at. And it's sort of like a chain of food chain, right? The pyramid. So you have, you know, at the lowest bottom you have the ingredients, and then they get eaten, and then she eats the guests, you know what I mean? So like you have the food that lures the children get eaten by the guests, and she eats the guests and lures them on board, and all of that jazz. I think there's something to, because like the whole game was about hunger initially, and then they wanted to make it bigger. And I remember one of the reasons, I'm starting to remember, there was something with like 6 being like the 6th sin, which was like gluttony, I think, but like the food one associated with food. But it's not necessarily just food, it's like indulgence. It's like taking more than you're supposed to in anything or in everything, right? That there's this kind of insatiable, selfish, kind of evil, you know, taking of things. And every time 6 indulges in that hunger, and you have to take it with a grain of salt though, because she's a child and she is dying, like she's hungry. Like I don't know if I can really blame her for her actions, because she kind of is losing it. The hungrier she gets, the more desperate she becomes to get out of where she was. And you know, part of that is the environment that she's been raised in. I think a big part of, like, you know, she's seeing the adults eat the kids. You know, there's something in there that, like, that's what she's raised in, that's what she knows. So I think that, you know, you see her going from eating something small that's thrown to her, which I think is bread or something, to the little piece of meat, to the rat. It gets bigger and bigger. Like, that hunger of hers gets bigger and bigger, and she doesn't necessarily know what to do with it. And from what her examples are, she eats like the gnome instead of the sausage, right? And I've been trying to think a lot about that moment, and thinking about that moment in particular with what she does with the lady as well. I was thinking, like, if the food is like poisonous, right, she knows not to eat it because maybe it keeps you submissive to the lady. Maybe but we also know that when she eats something, it gives her power. And the gnomes come from, I'm pretty sure they come from the lady, but I don't remember where they come from. But she eats the gnome, and maybe that gives her like the strength to be able to take on the lady because he's bigger. This is the top of the ship. Oh, this is the top of the ship, right? Oh, do we play this? No. Yeah, I don't think so. This is like the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg, right? Thank you for playing. Thank you for making it. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. it's been genuinely so long since I played this game, but like I remember being so into this one. And when the second one came out, it gave you a little bit more. I remember it not answering everything, but I remember like it giving you a little bit more because of mono. I don't ever remember playing the DLCs, but as soon as I start playing them, I'm sure I will find out if I did. I'll either recognize it or I'll be like, whoa, this is new. The only thing I do know is that the DLCs are from the perspective of the runaway kid, and the runaway kid is another child on the Maw with Six, but it's he's the first one to, or maybe not the first, but the one before Six, like, that escapes and tries to run around the Maw and do something, presumably trying to get off of it. And that a lot of the stuff that you see with Six are things that he was doing. Like, for example, like, there's like a moment where we climb up, I think it's in chapter 2, where we climb up like a tied together rope that's like full of like cloths that have been tied, and it's like all the way, it's already there. I think that's the runaway kid. That's all I remember of the DLCs. That's all I really know of them. I don't remember anything else. And so if I have played them, it's gone. I remember playing 2 though. I loved 2. And there are references to the lady in 2. So she has more power than just on this ship. And it's very interesting because she's the only one who seems to have this sort of magic. She's at the top of the ship. She's got the power. It is very much like Spirited Away, you know, the witch that runs the bathhouse, right? She is the witch that runs this restaurant ship. And she has all these guests come in that indulge themselves in the food, and she gets to take their life force and I suppose live on longer, live on younger, and get to do whatever it is that she's doing. We don't know why necessarily she's doing all of this. I mean, one element obviously is to stay alive, to stay young, to stay powerful. It appears that when you take someone's life essence in this world, you get their power. I don't know if you necessarily get their memories, but it, you know, usually it kind of is like a package deal. Like you absorb them, you know, who they were, their essence. So there's definitely something to that. As far as I know, I don't know anything about the ship. We do play on land though in the second one, as far as my memory serves, because we're in the woods running away with Mono, who's a lot more athletic than Six, because he's not like dying of hunger. I was gonna say something about the ending of Little Nightmares 2, but if you haven't played it, I don't want to spoil that. Oh wow, this one was actually way shorter than I thought. I had a lot of things going on in the year of 2017, which is when Little Nightmares came out, and I must have played it in like broken increments. You know, I could play it sometime here, sometime there. So I remember the game being a lot longer. Also, if memory serves, this was the first game from that studio, and they're obviously pulling from a lot of things. It creates a story that is so unbelievably unique and beautiful. But yes, we will play the Secrets of the Maw next. That's the DLC for the first game, this game. And I believe it's 3 games. It tells the story of the runaway kid, like I mentioned, and I think it's all prequel before 6. And then we'll get to Little Nightmares 2. I do remember absolutely loving the second one, and from your guys' comments as well, the second one held up so much. So I'm really curious to see how playing it all together will give us a fuller picture of the whole story. There's definitely a lot to glean from this first one, but obviously with the rest of it, I'm sure we'll get a much fuller picture. Not a complete picture. I don't believe like it's wrapped up in any way, shape, or form, but I will be really excited to see everything together all in one setting and be able to kind of glean what we can glean and theorize what we can in preparation for Little Nightmares 3, which is supposed to come out at the end of this year, I believe, sometime in 2024. I believe it's the end of the year though, but I don't know. I'm very excited for it, and I have high hopes for it. I know it's a different studio, but hopefully they can understand the beauty and the simplicity of this project without going overboard and just kind of continuing the fantastic streak that it's already on. So If you guys are ready to explore the rest of the world of Little Nightmares, you guys should check out Secrets of the Maw. I'll put it in a little playlist right over here. And if you guys are interested in just jumping straight into the second one, Little Nightmares 2, that'll be right over here. But until then, guys, keep safe in the dark. Don't see any mirrors, and get some snacks, but maybe not gnome snacks.